All right. It is 5:02. And here they come. How you guys doing this evening? It is Friday night, April 10th, 2020. And welcome to another virtual paint party. I am really excited. It's been raining outside. It's kind of not super cold, but it's a fun night to do some art. I'm excited. I'm actually in a different location this time. I'm in my studio. So we got a lot better of a Wi-Fi setup because we were having issues in here. And Amy is in here with me right now. Say hello, Amy.
Hi, guys. Not painting tonight, but I'm still
Hello.
cheering everyone on.
Yeah, Amy's not painting tonight. Hi, Kaylee. How are you? So anyways, I'll wait a little bit for more people to come on. So I'm gonna just sit here a minute and just hang out, talk to you about very important stuff like what's for dinner and what else is for dinner, what's for desserts, what's for second dinner, stuff like that. Kaylee's all ready. She just sent me a picture. I told you we adopted Kaylee, right?
Oh, yay.
Hi, Stacy. Oh, Fascinato.
Kaylee's dad.
Almost ready. Kaylee's dad. Oh, hey, Mr. Morales. I heard you're quite the artist yourself.
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Morales. So don't say anything bad that you don't want us to hear.
I heard that. Just kidding. I can't hear you guys. All right, we got 14. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Not just a little bit. Maybe a few more minutes. Stacy, you're welcome. This is fun. I like doing this with you guys. This is cool. So I did want to let you guys know a follow-up to what we've been working on. We have about 50 canvases now that we're setting up little kits for the kids and for people who want to paint that can't. So the only problem is a lot of my stuff got back ordered, which I'm not surprised. It's all good. But I did get a bunch of paints in. I ordered, how big are those things? Are they half gallons?
They're half gallons.
I ordered a bunch of half gallons of paint. We went to the dollar store and we picked up some little plastic containers that we're going to start filling up with the paints that we're going to use. So we've got canvases, we've got paints. They literally came in today. They were supposed to come in a couple days ago. We had to have a backup plan with our canvases because Blix, the canvases were back ordered, so they just canceled our order, which was, it's understandable. I'm not going to get mad. I don't have time to get mad anymore. I have no room to get mad. But anyways, we've been scrounging around and we've been finding canvases here and there. And we have collected about 50 so far. So I'm really happy, and I really want to start getting canvases for the kids and paintbrushes. That's the next thing. We got to get paintbrushes next.
Yep.
So we have some paintbrushes. I'm going to give out my personal paintbrushes. These are the paintbrushes we're using tonight.
We have 14 sets.
We have 14 sets of paintbrushes. They're my personal paintbrushes, and I want to make sure that everybody's painting along with me. So I can buy more later. It's all good. Because this will end soon, I promise. And when it does, I'll go in.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. I will go in and buy my paint supplies again. So next week, actually, I'm going to travel down to Orange County and I will be picking up more supplies. It's curbside only, so I'm just going to start hitting all of Southern California for everyone. I'm basically going to hit Art Supply Warehouse. I'm going to hit Blix is closed. They won't even let anybody in. You have to order online. But Art Supply Warehouse is doing curbside pickup, and I have no problem driving down to Westminster. That's where Art Supply Warehouse is. And
Miss Thompson just joined us and said hello.
Oh, hello. Yeah, there she is. It's just you tonight. That's all good. So, but yeah, so I'm going to be collecting more supplies, and Amy and I are working our tails off, and we're scrambling our brains trying to get all this stuff going, and we just want everyone to have something to do. Distance learning has started, and we want to give the kids some time to catch up with their actual schoolwork before we start giving them other like paint or drawing tutorials. So I will be doing drawing tutorials, and I'll be posting them on this page as well, but I kind of wanted to give the kids some time to catch up with all their homework. But I do want them to have an outlet for things, especially in the weekends. So everything's going to have to change for a little bit. We all know that. So, but anyways, let me wait just a couple more minutes, if you guys don't mind, and then we're going to get started with this this really cool painting. And it's actually, is it still raining outside?
It is raining.
It's raining outside, and we're totally going to do like a rain painting. It's awesome. I'm really excited about it.
It's raining. I've always wanted to.
So, oh, your mom. Well, Teresa, if you can, let me post the link. Hold on, let me jump on my phone real quick.
Yeah, I'm not. If I was on your Facebook, I would have done that.
Let me send the link to Teresa Santos. If you go onto my Facebook page, Teresa, you can actually right-click and save the the link to YouTube. Oh, boy. Hang on a second. I just sent you a personal or a direct message, Miss Santos. So you should be receiving that. Okay, could everybody see this okay? Now, keep in mind, I'm not painting on big canvases. I'm painting on smaller canvases. I would like for you guys to paint on canvases no bigger than 9 by 12, I think. If you have the paints, if you have tons of paints like I do, which is great, yeah, go for it. Paint on bigger canvases. But some of you that don't have a lot of paints, like a bottle like this is about 4 ounces, I believe. Yeah, this is 4 ounces of paint. That will probably last you 2 or 3 paint sessions on a bigger canvas, like an 11 by 17 or anything bigger than that. But if you don't, and you want this to last a while, because who knows how long we're going to be stuck, I would paint on 8 by 10s. 8 by 10s or 9 by 12s, no bigger than that. So cool. So is everybody ready? Everybody good?
Christopher.
Yes. Oh, hey, Christopher, what's up? Excellent. All right. So if you guys noticed, I put my Disneyland name tag there. I thought that was cool because a lot of my friends that work for Disney are going around posting something about if you worked for the Disney company at one time, post a picture. Well, when I worked at Disneyland, unfortunately, we didn't have cell phones. We had what's called a beeper, pagers, and you weren't allowed to bring those into the park. So I don't have pictures of me. I don't have pictures of me in the park. My aunt has a couple. My aunt Janice, when I lived down in Costa Mesa with down there, they came into the park and took pictures of me. So, but I don't have pictures of me working at the park for my kids, which kind of stinks because I worked for Disneyland in 1996. And so I did indeed work for the Disney company. I didn't do any artwork for them. Well, maybe I did. You guys don't know about it though.
We miss Disneyland too.
Yeah, we miss Disneyland. Anyways, are you guys ready to paint? Let me take this down. I put this up. I want a message every time I do this. It is Autism Awareness Week or the month?
Month.
So, and we're both teachers, so we have a big heart for all the kids, including our awesome, amazing students with autism or friends that have autism. And of course, if you guys have Instagram, that's us on Instagram. Go follow us. I post funny stuff in the middle of the night while I'm binge eating at 3 a.m. watching Netflix. So just kidding. There'll be a lot of stuff that we're going to get back on the book again. Just another update. It's just things are settling down a little bit, kind of.
Kaylee wanted to know if you worked in the animation studios at Disney's California Adventure.
No, I was actually offered a possible position to work in the watch, the artists that create watches on Main Street. So I was training for that. And then my friend Joe Yakovetic, who worked for Disney, and he's still doing some side gigs for them, he actually told me that they wanted me to be a silhouette artist. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. They do silhouettes on Main Street. That would have been fun. You actually just get a piece of paper and you start just cutting out silhouettes. You don't really have time to draw it out. But I thought that would have been fun, but I didn't do it. So I was afraid to do it. I'd end up making somebody with a giant nose or big ears, and then they punch me in the face or something. So yeah. Anyways, you guys know for this painting, let's go ahead and get started. Let me move down here. I'm trying to read everyone's comments too.
I'm all caught up. The California Adventure one was the last one.
I don't see it, but it's okay.
Okay, well, that's why I'm talking.
Yeah, no, that's all good. It's all good.
Comments. I'm the commentator.
Can you guys hear Amy okay too? Because Amy's like far away from me.
Very far.
I had a bunch of garlic last night, and she's just like, hey, let's do this whole social distancing thing now, which I thought was really weird because I thought she would be the like social distant with me when
I'm like 12 plus feet from the mic, so the fact that you guys can hear me right now is amazing. Just tell me if you don't want to hear me anymore.
All right, so you guys ready? These are the paints we're using. White, black. You can use any type of black. Ivory black, Mars black, whichever one. We're going to be using red because we're painting a really cool umbrella. We're going to be using a little bit of blue. And I told you guys we're using a tiny bit of yellow. Just a little bit. I mean, you probably won't even use half a teaspoon's worth. It's going to be just a little tiny bit. And of course, I got my cup of water right here. You guys know I like to drink. I don't know why I do that. Do you guys, I don't know. I don't even know, like, that's not funny, or is it amusing? I don't know. I just do it.
It's not Crayola, so who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, let's get started. I want to paint my background. So here's my plate. I am using foam plates. For those of you who are painting with me for the first time, I'm using foam plates. I like these because when I'm done, I can throw them in the trash. But you should use styrofoam plates because acrylics are water-based. If you use paper plates, your acrylic paints will soak in. It'll make a mess. It starts to goop up and wad up really bad. So I like these styrofoam plates. You can go to the dollar store and pick them up, although you guys shouldn't be going anywhere right now, of course. But if you got them laying around, great. If you have a paper plate, just use whatever you guys want. Also, what you guys can use if you don't have plates or anything like that, you could use wax paper. Get a little piece of wax paper. It won't dry. It won't soak through. So that's something else you can use. But definitely we're going to be using this because we're rinsing our brushes out. Whenever we need to change paints, we're going to rinse out really good. I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. Also, what I'm going to teach you at the end is how to clean your brushes. I haven't taught you guys that. Don't leave acrylic paints in your brushes. They'll gum up in your brushes and they will ruin your brushes. I'll show you a brush right now here that I have. Here's a brush right here that's got somebody. I won't. Okay. How's it? Is it good now?
Nope, it's loading still. Yeah, now it's better.
Okay. So this has acrylic paint in it that wasn't cleaned out properly. Let me show you the difference. Here's a brush that has acrylic paint that's been cleaned out real nice. Look at the bend in that. See that? Okay, can you guys see this okay? Look at this right here. Look at this. See how it bends real nice? Okay, here's a brush that was not cleaned out properly. You could probably scrape paint off the wall with this thing. So, and when you get to this point, the only problem is you have to use lacquer thinner or you have to use mineral spirits to really get it out of there. But this brush is kind of toast. I still keep them anyways, but anyways, we want to rinse our brushes out really, really good. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start with my white. I'm going to throw some white on my palette right here. A decent amount. You guys don't have to do a lot. I'm doing a little bit more because I have a bigger canvas to cover. So probably like that. I'm using soft body acrylics. I love soft body acrylics. If you're using acrylic paints that come out like toothpaste, it's totally fine. You just have to use a little bit of water and be patient. You got to break them down. Okay, don't use too much water. The acrylics are water-based. You don't want to use too much water because it'll start running down. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my flat brush. We're going to be using two different brushes. This is a flat brush because it is flat. This is a round brush because it is square. Just kidding, it's round. So you see the nice point on it? This is good for putting in details, trees, different things. Is it still working? Chris says I'm frozen. Is it good now? Am I good?
No, it's moving. It's all good.
Okay, sorry guys. I'm in my studio, so it's a little bit
further
from everything. So we're going to be painting this in layers. Okay, we're going to start with our background. This one's an easy one. The last one we did that had trees and different things. We have 3 to 4 different layers. We have a background, a midground, maybe a midground, and then a foreground, and maybe something else in front of that. For this, we're only going to be doing 2 layers. We're going to have a background that's going to be mixed with blue and white. And we want to give it the appearance that it is like a rainy background. Okay, like the ground is okay, so here's my white right here. I want my blue right over here. I don't want them too close to each other. I don't want them to contaminate each other. Okay. So, see if this works right here. Get some blue out. Not a lot of blue. Remember, you probably, when you're painting, you probably want to make sure that you put in less than more. Because if you use too much and then the painting's done, you can end up throwing away like a few dollars worth of paint. You don't want to do that. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to wet my brush first. I don't want a sopping wet brush.
It froze again, Chris. There you go.
Sorry, guys. It's going to be kind of lagging here and there. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with my white, and I'm going to put a little bit of an area right over here. And I want this to be my background. I don't want to contaminate this white right here. I want this to be pure white for anything else, but I'm going to pull a little bit over here. I'm going to grab a corner of this blue, just a little bit. And I'm not going to overblend it. Can you guys see that right there, those streaks? And I'm going to start brushing across. I'm going to paint from right to left. And I'm going to go all the way across, back and forth. Now, can you guys see those streaks there okay? I like those streaks. I'm going to leave them there. I'm not going to overblend those. And I'm going to grab some more, and I'm going to do the same thing. And I know that there's going to be some white in the background of this. Even though the canvas is white, you still want to cover the canvas. Also, there's some paint that's gummed up right there. You want to blend that out real nice. Okay. And I'm going to keep going across. Now with acrylic paint, we want to layer it. I've painted acrylic paintings that have had, I don't know, 10 to 12 layers of paint on. All the way across. Now, if your brush is flat, don't use it sideways right now. Use it for what it's meant for, to paint flat, to paint across, or up and down, whichever. But here's where I'm at right now. I don't know if that's too much light or not. Oh, that's really bad. That's no good.
Yeah, right there, that's fine.
Is that
There's
okay?
a little shadow. What about?
There. How's that?
That's fine, right there.
Okay.
That's perfect.
And I'm going to keep working my way across and then go all the way down. The more layers of paint you build up on this, the better. You're going to give it a lot of depth. Think of acrylic paint as like layers of plastic being laid on top of each other. Got a little bit more blue in certain areas. This is our first stage here. I'm not super concerned about this. This is where I'm trying to figure out. If I'm a first-time painter, some of you are first-time painters, this is where I'm going to figure out what my acrylic paints can and can't do for me. This is also where I figure out what my brushes can and can't do for me. This brush can't do everything. At the skill level that I'm at, even I could say something like, well, I could paint this entire painting with this brush. I can, but it's not going to be exactly what I want. I need different tools in my toolbox. This is just one tool that's in my toolbox. And I have many tools. They all serve a purpose. They all do something different. Okay, and I worked my way all the way down to the bottom. And while you're at it, start painting the sides of your painting. Be careful, my mic is right there. If you use a canvas that has like a backing, they're actually ready to hang. So you could totally hang these up when you're done painting. There's my first layer. It's very light. It's all good. It's fine. It's going to be layered. We're going to add some depth to it. I smell pizza.
Yeah, there's some right behind you.
Oh,
Cheers.
I tell you what, I'm going to give you guys a minute to do that. I'm going to eat a piece of pizza. Well, I'm going to eat a slice.
Slice.
I'm going to eat a slice. That's drying. It should take about a minute to 2 minutes to dry. I can see canvas still. I don't want to see canvas. I still want to cover it up. So if you're going to check your painting to see if it's wet still, use the back of your finger. Don't stick your finger on it. You'll leave a thumbprint or a fingerprint. Just get the back of your finger like this. As you can see, still a little wet. So let it dry for just a minute or so. If you want, you could pick it up and shake it around to air it out. That works as well. Who's eating dinner with me right now? You guys have got to be. I don't want to feel like I'm the only one eating. Are you guys eating food too? Well, if you're not, sorry. I'm eating. I'm starving. People would tell me, didn't your mother ever tell you not to talk with your mouth full? And I said, my mom's Italian. We all talk with our mouths full. So here we go.
Yes, pizza.
Pizza.
Yay.
Who's eating pizza right now?
Our pizza is
Besides the
on
Ninja
way.
Turtles.
Santos and Teresa's eating pizza at Friday night pizza night.
Yes. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to start from the left, or the right to the left. I'm going to work my way down. Oh, also, one more thing. If your painting's still wet, don't paint over it. Let it dry. What happens is it gets a little tacky, and when you start to premature like paint over it, it starts peeling off the canvas. It's no good. All right, so here we go. Here's what my palette looks like. I like these cool streaks in there. I'm not going to overblend them. Watch this. Comes my second layer. Ooh, did you see what? Oh my goodness, did you see that? What did I just do? I put some blue in random areas. Oh no. Chris, what do I do? Leave it. That's what we want. Leave it. You see that?
I see it.
That's every time I do something good, I'm gonna take a bite of my pizza. Is that cool? That was awesome. I'm gonna take a bite of my pizza. I'm gonna work my way down. This way, this way. We're gonna get darker here in a minute. But I'm gonna keep going down. Like I said, I just want to build up layers on my canvas right now. Watch this. You ready? Oh my goodness. What did I just do? I meant to do that. Not really, it just happened. And you guys should have that happen too. Now you can just start brushing back and forth. You see that? If there's too much blue, that's okay. We're going to throw a little bit of white in there. This is the fun part. This is where you guys could just start putting different variations. You could put different tones going on here. We're going to add a lot of character to this piece. This is going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, are you guys enjoying this? Are you having fun? Who said no?
Better be, because there's no refunds.
Someone said no. Just kidding. Nobody said no. I'm just kidding, you guys. I wish I could paint with you guys in person right now. I can hear you laughing. Not really. Who's not laughing? I'm going to keep working my way down. I'm going to get a little bit darker towards the bottom though, because my umbrella is going to be sitting down here. Now look at this. Here's my mixture now. I've added some more blue. And I'm working my way down at the bottom. And I want this blue consistent. I want some white to show, so I'm going to go through and just put a little bit right there, just like that. You guys like that so far? I like it. It looks cool. I'm going to paint the sides. I like that. Let that settle there for a minute. Is everybody doing okay? All right, here we go. It's not completely dry, but I do want to add some darker blues. Don't put too much blue. This is what we put in right now. Watch this. I just want a little bit. Can you see that color tone right there, that difference? Okay, now I want to put some up here. So watch this. Some darker right there. Now, don't push down. I want to see brush marks. There's some streaks right there. It's because I painted with the brush this way. I didn't push down on the brush real hard. I painted with the brush this way. And that's how you get these little lines right here. Okay, so do the same thing right over here. There's one. I might put one right here, like a little bit of one. Remember, almost like you're painting like this. Another example. We're not painting like this. We're painting like this. Does that make sense? And I might do that like right down here. I'm going to turn my brush sideways a little bit. See how I'm painting flat? I'm going to turn it sideways. Try to keep your lines straight if you can. Try not to make them arch. We want to give the appearance that this is going to be like pavement. Okay, I'm going to add some right here. And I'm going to add a little bit of white. And I'm going to go back to this color now. And I might do that same thing I did, but with this white blue mixture. I want to start breaking up this blue. I don't want to see patterns. Hello, Renee. God, I miss my students.
Hey, that's your student?
That's Erica.
Erica.
Renee. That's your username, right, Erica?
Mr. Hernandez.
Right? Is that Erica? Is that you? It's got to be. There's only one student who yells across campus when I step on there. Hi, Mr. Hernandez. It makes my day.
Yes.
I love you, Erica.
Renee is her middle name. Of course it is.
Erica, did you do your homework I gave you?
Oh. Homework.
I'm going to start putting some more blue in here. I'm going to go back to this. Now watch this. There's one layer. This is a second layer. Watch what I do right here. Just a little bit. And I might want a little bit right here. Now I'm painting with my brush sideways, flat. Erica, you better do your homework. I don't care if school's not in session. You better do your homework. I really miss my students. They really made my day. I like this. I think I'm going to add, I have a second afterthought. I'm going to put some blue up here because I don't like that there's just not anything stopping this. So I'm going to create a really cool composition effect. Now, this is what you should have. You should have something like this. If it doesn't look exactly like mine, don't worry about it. Because if I were to go back and repaint this, it would look completely different. Okay. So everybody got this? Does everybody need a minute or so? Erica, are you painting with me too?
She said she needs to get more paint supplies so she can.
Oh, well, Mr. Hernandez is working on some stuff to get all of his students, Mrs. Hernandez's students, and any kiddos that need some paint supplies. Okay, by now you should probably have known your brush is starting to get a little sticky, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water, just a little bit. I'm not gonna add a lot. And I'm going to make a mixture that's a little bit darker, like that. And I'm going to start working towards the bottom here, doing the same thing. I want the bottom darker, so I'm going to go in random areas. Ultimately, my umbrella is going to go right here, but I definitely want the bottom of this to be darker. Change your brush direction. So you paint flat, and then turn your brush sideways and paint some streaks like this right here. Okay, there's where I'm at right now. And because my umbrella is going to go right here, there's going to be a shadow that we're going to paint right here at the bottom. I do want some darker blue on this side over here. So I'm going to don't grab pure blue, just dip your brush in a little bit and incorporate a little bit of darker blue and just put some of that right here. See how it's not super dark, but it's just, we'll build up some layers on that. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And with acrylic paint, it dries. And if you're not happy with something, you just paint over it. Really not a big deal. Erica, we're painting a rainy day scene with an umbrella turned upside down. So that's what we're working on right now. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to throw a little bit of blue right there. Now, what I'm doing is I'm creating contrast, meaning I want things opposing each other that have different shapes and different color tones. I'm going to put a little bit darker blue up here just for fun because I like that. A little bit right here. A little bit here. Oh, what the heck. Let's put some dark blue right here too. I like that.
Contrast is king.
Contrast is king.
Mhm. Those weren't my words, of course.
So is everybody doing good? Is everybody having fun? Is anybody out of toilet paper? I'm not.
Because if you are, there's ABWs, of course.
Yep. I went to the store. There was no toilet paper, which we didn't need it. We were just going to grab some just because we normally shop and that's what we buy.
Because everyone's doing it, so we should too, right?
So everyone's doing it. So I grabbed boxes of Kleenex. And the gal was curious when she rung us up and said, "Oh, you're not getting toilet paper. Everybody's grabbing toilet paper." I said, "I don't need toilet paper. These are ABWs." She said, "What is an ABW?" I said, "Alternative butt wipes." So my paint is starting to dry on my brush a little bit. So I think I got enough blue on there. Christopher said, that's what people are doing too. It's like, reach for the glove box. I'm out of toilet paper. That's what I do. I always throw napkins in my glove box. But anyhow, I'm rinsing my brush. Here's how you rinse your brush. You're going to grab your brush and you're going to almost paint the bottom of your cup. You want to open up the belly of that brush. Let's see if you can see it here. When you open that up, it gets all that paint out of the belly of the brush. So you're going to paint the bottom of your cup. And then you're going to strain it by pulling it along the edge of the cup and getting all that out. Now, if you see blue or red or green water coming out and it's not really dark, it's not a big deal. You can still paint with it. See, there's a little bit of paint right there. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your paper towel and you're going to wipe in this direction and get all that paint off that's built up right there. You don't want that paint on there. It'll start drying up and it'll cause you a lot of problems. Okay. All right, I like that. I'm good with that. I think I want some more pure white in certain areas. So I'm going to grab my brush and I'm going to grab some pure white and I'm just going to hit certain areas. This is what your palette should sort of look like right now. You have different color variations. I'm going to grab some pure white. I'm going to create some contrast by throwing some white like right up here in a little spot right there. I'm going to grab some more white. I might throw a little bit right here. I might even throw some pure white right here. Maybe right here. Right here. Maybe right there. Where else? Maybe right here. I'm building this thing up, building it up. Maybe some right there. Okay, without rinsing out my brush, I want to tint this a little bit. So I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm going to grab my red. I'm going to use a little bit of red away from all the paints. I'm going to put it like somewhere right here. Just a little bit. Come on, come out. I feel like this is a ketchup bottle at a restaurant. There we go. We just need a little bit. I don't want a lot right now. And remember, while you're painting, if you pull out a bunch of red, don't reuse it later on, like 20 minutes later. Just get new red because it's hardening up. It's not good. It's just not a good idea. So added some water. I'm going to grab a tiny bit of red with the corner of my brush, just like that. And I'm going to grab a little spot over here. I don't want to contaminate too much of the white. I actually want to tint certain areas with this right here. Can you guys see that right there? It's right there, just a little bit. It's a tiny bit of pink color, okay? And I'm going to go over certain areas because I want it to look like there's a reflection of the umbrella. The umbrella is going to go right here. So I'm going to throw a little bit of that pinkish color right here. I don't know if you could see that real well, but it's just a little bit. And I apologize. I'm going to get a, I got to invest in like a better webcam. I would use my phone, but I need like, YouTube's kind of weird like that. They want you to have like 1,000 subscribers. Like that's going to happen with me. So there's some red tinted right there. I might even throw some right up here. That's cool. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I got red, a little bit of pink right there, a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more right here. That's cool. I like that. And I'll probably throw some down here. And I'm going to throw a little bit down here. Uh-oh.
No one left for work.
No one left for work. Our son Noah's still working. He's an essential employee. He works at Target. We're happy that he's out working, but I told him he didn't have to, just to be very careful. And would you believe, I'm sure you guys aren't surprised, people are not nice right now. So if you're going out and shopping, be nice to these people. These people don't have to go into work. They're risking their lives being there. And they're kind of doing us all a favor. It's really nice of them to do that. Here we go. I'm putting some more of that color right there. You guys can take this as far as you want. You could keep adding things to it. Okay, so I might add a little bit of red. I'm going to mix my red with my blue to get like that dark purple color. Like that. And I'm going to throw a little bit of that like right here. And I might come over here and throw a little bit of that right there. And I might do that again right here. Down here. I like that. I'm going to rinse my brush out. See that paint right there? I'm going to keep rinsing that out. That'll be a hindrance later to my painting, so do that, do that. And I'm going to wipe my brush off of my paper towel. And I'm going to give you guys a second to do that. And while you do that, I'm going to show you something. I'll be right back. If you guys can, and I don't promote these people, it doesn't matter because it's either the pink stuff or this stuff. This is the brush cleaner that I use to clean out my brushes.
Give it a second. Froze again.
Did it freeze again? We're back.
Nope. Not on my computer, it's not, but I'm much further away, so I don't know. It's back.
Sorry, guys. This is the brush cleaner that I use. It's $7, $8. You could buy little tiny versions of this. You could buy the big tubs. I have a big tub.
The size of water.
I can't believe it's not brush cleaner. I got this big old thing here. This thing I bought about 1.5 years ago, and I'm probably ready for another one soon. So what you do with that is you throw a little bit of water in it, and you just rinse your brush around very gently, and then you rinse it out.
What could they use if they don't have brush cleaner of their own? Could they use like shampoo or something?
I was going to tell you guys, if you can't get that, you can use just like a little bit of hand soap and just do the same thing. Throw a little bit of hand soap in your hand, rinse your brush around, and then paint it like you're painting your hand. Rinse it out. And if you feel like your brushes are getting a little stiff, keep rinsing them. Get a tiny bit of fabric softener, laundry fabric softener, and put a little bit of fabric softener in your brushes. It'll soften them up. Erica, I get my supplies from Blix. Honestly, I get them wherever. You can get them at Michael's. You can get them at Amazon. It's whoever has the best deal and whoever has the fastest shipping. So I love Blix. Like I said, next week I'm going to head down to Orange County and just pick up some supplies at Art Supply Warehouse. And Michael's right now is curbside, so you basically purchase online and then you give them your number when you pull in and they run it out to you, which is all good. It's fine.
Your student says she uses hand soap.
Yeah, hand soap is totally fine.
It has like the moisturizers in it for your hands. So I would imagine it's okay for synthetic brushes.
Yeah. How's everybody else doing? I'm pretty okay with, I'm happy with this. This is cool looking. Now, you could always go back and add more if you want. I like that. I think it's cool. It's just the background. Christopher said he uses a chainsaw. Yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
Something you do like throw in a dartboard and they'll stick. I have some brushes that are hard as a rock. They're toast.
Well, according to Chris, I use nothing because I am the maker of the stiff brushes. You guys see.
Here's a stiff brush that is out of commission. This thing will poke a hole in the wall. All right, is everybody caught up? Everybody good? Ready for the next step?
Chris says he's a notorious abuser of brushes. I fit into that category as well.
This brush right here, one of my first paint brushes ever, from France. I think I paid like $70 for this brush. And one day I was painting and I got mad. I launched it across the room. It went airborne. I mean, I was mad. As soon as I let it go, my heart dropped and I said, oh my gosh, what did you do, you idiot? Luckily it didn't break, but.
Not that I would make excuses for myself, but I normally paint with 9 and 10-year-olds. So, you know, it takes one to know one type of thing. So I basically treat my brushes like a 9 and 10-year-old. Well, there are some 9 and 10-year-olds out there that are really great with their brushes. Yeah, I'm the 9 or 10-year-old that isn't great with my brushes. So What can I say? Right, Mr. Chris?
Yep. If you were to walk in my studio years back, you would wonder why there was colorful little blots all over the walls. It wasn't because I was being creative. It's because that's where the brush landed when I threw it. But I stopped throwing brushes, kind of.
Now he breaks them. No, just kidding. He doesn't break them.
Yeah, I do. I'll snap a brush. I'm not afraid.
Mrs. Hernandez is a 4th grade teacher. So therefore, yes, I am an art teacher because I teach all subjects. I teach 4th grade at Crystal School of Science, Math, and Technology. But I like to teach many things through the use of art because we find research shows that when you are doing something a creative way, you can learn a lot more from it.
I'm going to incorporate different tools for you guys if you guys can get a hold of these. If you want to keep up with painting and you want to continue, this is something that I picked up years ago. I've had this for like 10 years. It's just a spray bottle. What I like to do with this, it has a very fine mist. I'll spray it on my pellet just to keep my paints wet. You don't have to use that if your painting is a short painting. Like this will be done in probably an hour or so. But if I'm painting for like 4 or 5 hours, I'll spritz my pellet with water every so often. You could also spray your canvas with water, and you can blend with that as well. But it's got to be a fine mist. Don't go and get the spray bottle underneath the sink that dump the simple green out of that and then spray your canvas. That ain't gonna work. Okay. Here we go. I'm switching to my black paint, and I'm also switching to my round brush. Now there's different types of round brushes or different sizes. I'm using one that you guys probably have. You can have smaller round brushes. I've got round brushes that are as little as, I mean, look at the difference in the size of these. So I don't want to use this. I want to use this just because I try to train myself to use only 2 different brushes, especially right now. We're very limited on supplies. We can't just run to the art store and go grab something real quick. So
You can find some Techlong brushes at Walmart. Did carry some.
yeah, if you guys can, Walmart had brushes. Don't buy brushes at the dollar store. Buy canvases at the dollar store. Don't buy brushes at the dollar store. You don't have to get very expensive brushes. I like to use inexpensive brushes. These brushes here are maybe a buck a piece because I bought them in bulk for my paint parties. Okay, so let's move on. Here we go. I'm going to put some black paint. And you guys notice I used up a lot of blue paint. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I was just showing off. Not really. It was an accident. You probably only need about that much of the black paint. And if you need more, just throw more on. I'd rather you guys add more than get this whole thing and say, I'm not going to use this whole entire thing. Which I still might, because we're going to mix a little bit of that. Actually, I'm feeling really bad about that. I'm going to scoop up some of it and dump it back in. Trying to be thrifty here. There, I got about a teaspoon's worth of paint back. That's enough to paint like another painting. Your paints as well. Okay, here we go. I want a nice sharp point on my brush. I got some lag.
Oh, it's fine over here.
I'm going to grab some black. Just a little bit. Don't totally dip your paint in there. I just want to paint with the tip of my brush because I'm making an outline of the umbrella. Okay, and like I said, whenever I make points, I roll my brush upward to where I've got a nice point. See that? To where it's almost like a pencil. And my umbrella is going to be somewhere right here. And I want it to go about somewhere right here. So I have to just tell myself, okay, I'm going to go down probably around right here. Okay, so you can imagine something like that and go down. I'm probably going to go right here. And I'm going to start with a shape that looks like, and remember, I want it to go at this angle. Okay, I don't want it straight. I want it to go at about that angle. Okay, so I'm going to draw a shape here first that looks like this. Okay. And I'm going to reload my paintbrush. And if you have to stop, don't feel like you have to make a whole line all the way through. If you have to paint a line, then stop and add more paint, please do that. Okay, and now when I paint this, I don't want this to go straight up and down. I want it to go around this angle because I want my umbrella to be sitting like at an angle. It's cool looking. Okay, so I'm going to keep this in mind. And again, I talked about this last week. Please don't use pencil. Don't pre-draw the image with pencil, especially if you're using white and that white touches that pencil, you're toast. It'll never come up. It'll keep coming through the white and it'll turn gray and it'll be really annoying. Okay, so a very thin line that's going down this way. Now, the way that I'm going to paint a thin line, if you put very little pressure on the brush, like you're barely touching it, that's a line that you can make. If you push down on the brush, you make a thicker line. Okay, and if you roll your brush, you'll get that point back on, and you could paint thin lines again. Okay. If you have a smaller brush, go for it, use it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a line that goes from here down to about right here, but I'm going to start right up here. And I'm going to put my pinky right here on the canvas. This is all dry, and I'm going to use this as a guide. I do this when I'm pinstriping so that I keep my hand steady. Just like that. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's not perfect, and I don't care if it's perfect. I want these to look almost like the old Impressionism paintings, like Seurat, Edgar Degas. Those type of painters had very loose brush strokes, and I loved it. Sargent.
Degas, he's the one who does the dancers, huh?
Yes, Edgar Degas. Ballerina.
I'm not a ballerina, but I love his paintings.
Edgar Degas is amazing. Also Monet.
Monet.
Okay, does everybody have that there? All right, let's start painting this umbrella in. Are you guys ready? I'm going to start by going over here, and I'm going to make a shape that goes from here to there. Not too curved. That's a little too curved. That. And I'm going to move this actually right past this, and it's going to go up to about right here. I'm going to add a little bit more paint. Right now, I just want to draw it out. And then I'm going to make a line that goes from here to about right here. Just like that.
As you've been painting, it started raining a little heavier again, which is super cool.
And I want another one, just a little one right here, just like that. And let's go back over here. And let's put one right there, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, if this doesn't come out the way you want it to, let it dry up a little bit. You could always reshape it and readjust your lines. It's not a big deal. But this would be the area to do all this in, because we're going to paint this all black and you're not going to see it. So what I like to do is tell myself this is going to go down here to probably about right. I'm going to follow this line through. It's about right here. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in my brush, roll it around. And I'm going to go ahead and paint a curve that's going to go from here to about right there. We'll give you guys a second to catch up on that. I want to fix this. While you guys are doing that, I want this to curve over a little bit more. Okay, now the other side, don't just paint the other side like this. I want this to curve this way, but I also want it to curve this way, and then I want it to go straight out here like an umbrella, the actual shape of an umbrella. It doesn't go completely round, and I want to give the illusion that it's sitting flat on the ground. So I'm going to put a little bit of a flat area right here and then curve that up. Just like that. Yes, Erica. The different types of canvas you use. So this is like a cloth canvas. If you use panels, they're a little bit different. If you use boards and you paint on boards and just gesso them like flat boards, it's going to give you a different effect. You're not going to have anything for the paint to soak into. So if you'll paint on boards, you're going to notice a lot of chunking up, which is kind of cool if you're going for that. I need to adjust this right now. Every so often, take a break, stand up, kind of take a look and see what you got. I want this to come out a little bit more. So I'm going to adjust this. And I'm going to make this a little bit wider over here as well. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to get my black and I'm just going to start filling it in. Now watch how I fill it in with this brush. I'm going to actually get pushed down on the brush. If you push down really good, see how it opens up? We went from making lines like this to really opening up that brush, the belly of the brush, to get all that paint out of there. Get more black. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the red is not going to be as opaque as the black. So I really want the black to be the underpainting of this. Yeah, Chris, I totally agree with you, man. As soon as I said, well, this and that's closed. That's all good. I went on and looked and I said, no. And I have plenty of supplies here, but I don't know. People are in a panic to buy toilet paper. I'm in a panic to buy canvases. Can wipe your butt with toilet paper. Well, can't wipe your butt with a canvas, but you can wipe your butt on a canvas. So be very careful when you paint, if that makes sense. So I'm good with that. I like my shape of my umbrella. I like all this. There's some imperfections there. I don't care. It looks totally fine. I'm happy with my shape. I'm going to let you guys catch up on that. And in the meantime, I'm going to rinse my brush out. Now here's how I'm rinsing the round brush. Don't smush it out. You see people like pushing cigarettes out, like they're rubbing them out. Please don't do that with these brushes. Do the same thing. Paint the bottom and do the same thing. Just strain it out by running it along the rim of the glass. And this is ready for the next step of paint. I know what you guys are thinking, and it's going to happen with the paint. It's non-toxic. It's not bad for you. Please don't drink your paint. It is bad for you.
Is it?
No, it's not. Here's my... What is that? It's like slime, sewage.
Do as he says, not as he does, because
Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
oh yeah. No, don't do it.
Oh, yuck. No, it's not that bad. Oh, I did it, Chris. Oh, why do I keep doing that?
Because now people have come to expect it of you.
Yeah, the guy that drinks his own paint. Hey, I told you Caravaggio used to drink turpentine while he painted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not turpentine, but I guess when you run out of booze, that's the next resort for some of these old guys. Delicious. Yeah. It tasted a little chalky. Does that make sense? It was chalky.
Chalky?
You know. Erica said hello. She said, hi, Mrs. Hernandez.
Hi, Erica.
If you were to go on campus with me and experience hearing Erica yell across the campus your name, you would know how special it is for her to say that.
Well, did
Love
she yell
Erica.
my name?
She did.
Oh, yay.
Erica's graduating this year. I'm losing Erica as a student, but not forever. She's
Don't
stuck. She's stuck with
Make it
me.
negative like
No,
that.
I know.
You are losing a student, but we are gaining a valuable adult to our
I know.
society.
It's just not the same. Fascinato would vouch for that too and tell you the same thing. It's different.
I know.
Okay, so this is still drying. I'm going to kind of assess all this right here. And while that's drying, I have some red out, but I'm going to grab a little bit more red because we're going to start painting red in here. But I still have some white out. I'm going to put some red on my canvas. I'm going to make the shadow while we're waiting for that black to dry. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use my round brush. We're going to paint this really cool reflection, not a shadow. It's like a reflection. Okay. So I'm not going to add blue this time. I'm going to grab my red. See, let's add a little bit of black. Just a little bit of black. This is what it should look like right here. Okay. Don't use too much. And I'm going to paint very loosely. Now, when I say loosely, I'm going to paint this reflection up here. But I'm going to paint the shape of this. It's going to go like this. It's going to start here. Is everybody ready? Here we go. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to work my way out into this line. Basically, it's going to look like this. It's going to come out this way. Like this. The overall shape is just going to look like we flip this down, but what we're going to do is ultimately we're going to grab our brush and we're going to pull some edges out just like this. You want them to go in this direction. Looks a little weird right now. That's okay. We just got to get this first layer on here. And I'm going to wipe off a bunch of the paint on my paper towel. And while this is wet, I'm just going to pull a little bit of that paint in this direction. Pull a little bit. I'm going to wisp it just a little bit. Dry brush. I don't want any hard lines. I want them broken up a little bit. Okay. She said for me to drink more water.
No, please.
All right, this one's for you, Erica. Okay, ready? That's it. No more drinking paint water. Bad example. Is it okay now, Kaylee? This is a total, like, this is a new setup since I'm painting in my studio. So next week we're gonna paint again. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. Okay. Am I good? Someone say yay or give me a thumbs up or something if we're good. Okay, I'm gonna grab some black. Excellent. I'm gonna grab some black and I'm gonna use a little bit more. I'm gonna have some red in there still, but I want more black than the red. I don't want to overblend it. But now I want to start going in and feathering in some of that black. I want my darkest part right up here. Okay, and I also want to do this. I want to get my black and make a line right here. And then I want to do that brush effect that we did back and forth. But I want to use that black to hit some of these edges. I want to wipe a bunch of the black off my paper towel, and I want to start wisping this paint around. Dry brush. And I'm going to grab some of that black, and I'm going to go in this direction. Remember, we want to create the effect still that it's on the ground. And if the ground is going in this pattern, we're barely seeing a reflection, but it's going to go in the same pattern as the water droplets on the ground. Ms. Robertson, how are you doing? All right, I'm going to again. And I'm going to start building up some layers. I'm going to add a little bit of red in here. Just in little random areas. I want to keep this black line right here to represent the umbrella. And I'm going to rinse my brush out. Now, this little mixture we made right here, I'm going to grab a little bit of white. I'm going to mix up something like this. Grab a little bit of that white again. It's kind of like a blackish. It's got that pink in there. And I'm going to go in right here and add a little bit. Just like this in this little area. And I want to stretch some of this out a little bit to this area right here. Back over here. Now this looks weird because this is black and then that's that color right there. But as soon as we start throwing the white in, it's going to be a lot better. Now I'm going to let that dry, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with some white. I'm not going to rinse my brush out. I'm going to grab some of that white right there and a little bit of this red. And now I'm going to actually outline and make the shape of this umbrella. Remember, it ends right here, and it's going to go like from here. Watch this. Go down. There's one. Another one's going to go from here to here. That. So another one's going to go from here. That. And I'm going to put a little bit of that right here. A little bit right in here. I want this to be dark right there. And then very carefully, I'm going to go in and make my handle. I'm going to paint. I'm going to leave some black, not a lot. And we can make some adjustments too with a shadow on the bottom, which we're going to. But I want a little bit more white, so I'm going to grab a little bit more white, not a lot. And I'm going to start popping in some white like right up here. A little bit here, not too much. I might throw in some white like right here. Just a little bit. Remember, we're painting almost like the styles of the Impressionists, where they used a lot of brush strokes to imply lines. They didn't define lines, they just implied them and said, this is where a line's going to be at. And I'm going to represent that with a very loose brush stroke. All right. The first thing I want to do when I fill this in is I want to use this mixture that I used down here. So with that white still on my brush, I'm going to grab some red and some black here. Because I want like pure red right there, but I want this blackish mixture that we mixed up. And I want it sloppily applied in there. I don't want it blended real nice. I'm just going to start dropping it in. And I'm going to throw some black here. I'm going to mix in some black. Just like that. We want this to have a painterly look. I'm going to grab a little bit of white, just a little bit, and I'm just going to not even rinse my brush out, just throw a little bit of white right there. Kind of give it this very loose, painterly brush effect. Like I said, this is almost like Impressionism painting. And with that same paint, I'm going to put some right here. This is going to be a shadow right here. So I want to put that right on the inside right here. Right there. Try to get as much area as you can with that same paint you're using without rinsing the brush out. I'm going to start cleaning up my lines right here. I like that. That's cool. I'm going to add a little bit more right up here. And I'm going to rinse my brush out because now I'm going to grab some pure red and I don't want too much black in it. So I'm going to grab some pure red, mix in just a little bit of black without over blending it. And I'm just going to really start carving that in right here. Now on this painting, again, don't over blend. We want to see all those brush strokes. Now it's really dark, but it's going to lighten up as it is. And the reason is because the red paint is almost like a transparent. There's a lot of transparency in it. It's got to build up. So I'm going to throw a little bit of red right in there. I'm going to throw some red in right here. A little bit right there. We'll let that dry up a minute. Everybody still good? Hanging in there? All right. I like all this. I might add a little bit of red in here to incorporate some of that reflection still. I'm going to add some more black in here at the bottom. It's especially right here. This is the closest area right here that you'll want black because it's going to represent the shadow right there. Don't paint straight lines, almost like dab it in there. You'll really give it that effect if you make it all dark right down there and then have it like gradiently, like a gradient, like a gradual color shift. Okay, since there's black on my brush, I'm going to rinse it out. Guys, don't make me drink any more water, okay? That was really gross. I don't mind doing it once in a while, but I can't do it again. I'm going to grab some red paint. I'm going to add a little bit of white. Don't add too much white. You'll turn your paint pink. You don't want that. Just want a little bit lighter of a white. I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to add some of that red right here. I want some of that red right here. I still want a little bit of that red in here, just a little bit, not too much. Because I like this. This is our light source. It's coming in. It's going to be darker right here. I like all these brush marks a lot. Hello, Amy.
Looks very nice.
It's getting there. It's all right. Okay, now I want to grab some white. Now, anytime you mix a color up, don't dip it right into your main source right here. Pull apart or pull aside a little reserve area that you have designated for that. I want a little bit of black mixed in this. Okay, and I'm going to paint this. Using directional painting, meaning I'm going with the curve. And I'm going to paint right up here. It's a little too dark or a little too light. There we go. This little area right here. And I'm going to layer this too in a second, but I just want this set as my mid-tone. And I want a little bit of this right here. And I want some of this right up here too. Maybe a little bit here. Now, while that's a little bit wet, I'm going to grab a little bit lighter of a white, and I'm going to start carving that in there, just like this. Don't be afraid to just really throw those colors in there. A little bit right there. That's too white. I'm actually lightening that up a little bit. And then I'm going to grab a little bit lighter of a color of a white than that. And I'm going to dry brush it on there, which means I'm going to wipe as much paint off as I can on my paper towel. Grab some of that white. And I'm going to dry brush some of that right there. Maybe a little bit more. Not too much. Don't get all excited about this and overdo it. It's a cool effect. And I'm going to dry brush a little bit of that right here. fix that. And I'm going to rinse that out because if any white touches the black we're going to use, it turns gray. I don't want to do that. I'm going to throw some black in right there. Right in that corner, right over here. And I want a little bit more of that. There. I want tips of my umbrella. Grab some black and some red. Put a little bit in right in here. I got a painterly look. I got a painterly effect. How you guys doing? You guys all good? I'm gonna rinse my brush out. Here's what I want you guys to do right now. Rinse your brush out. We're almost done. Stand up and stretch. Take a break. Stand up and stretch.
The 7th.
Okay, we're done. Break's over. Just kidding. Take a break. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see it. Get rid of that sheen. There we go. Is everybody good? Is everybody taking a break? Rinse your brush out, take a break. Have fun with this. This is a cool piece. I'm excited to paint this with you guys. See if turning this light off helps a little bit. Take the glare out. Is that better?
I don't know because there's
No.
a delay. For me, there's a delay. 'Cause-
Yeah. You guys have any questions on anything? Go ahead and type them in right now. I'll help you out. Amy's gonna come over. She wants to talk to you guys.
Actually painting tonight. I needed a break. I'm making macrame art. See, this is what I'm working on right now. So, because I'm going to be doing my own YouTube tutorials for my students to follow. So I'm excited. But yeah, I actually picked this painting out. I've wanted him to do the umbrella painting for a long time, and then go figure, I didn't even paint it. I will paint tonight. So, but I will paint it eventually. But I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, because I feel like you guys have, a lot of you who have been painting along with us from the beginning, you guys have been doing a very good job, and I'm always excited to see what you come up with. And this one is a little more artistic, a little more brush stroke-y. I don't know. I'm not an art major like Chris is, so I come up with my own words to describe it. And so you can not be perfect with it and still be very satisfied with what you come up with, which I love that about this piece. And I can't wait for Chris to give you the sneak peek on or sneak hint, I should say, on what we're going to paint next week, because we've had a lot of requests. So I am very excited to for next week's painting. I'll probably be painting that one. So.
Hey guys. Oh, there you can't see my eyes.
I showed them my macrame.
Awesome. All right, my break's over. I want to finish painting this with you guys. Are you guys having fun with this? Is this cool? Yeah? Awesome. All right. The next thing that I want to do, I think my umbrella's done. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to pop some white in there. So I'm going to get my round brush. And I'm going to go ahead and grab some white, but make sure it's not pure white. It'll look a little bit weird. Make sure there's some red in it, but I just want to pop a little bit of white in just like this. Right there. Just little tiny spots right there. They're just painting styles done by Impressionism. That's the inspiration for these. I'm going to put some more red right up here to blend this. You guys know the most famous Impressionist painter of all, Vincent van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh, whatever.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm being the Doctor Who nerd.
There's like that. Put some black in right there. I want some black in right here too on the bottom really good because this is the part that you're not going to see. It's almost like shadowed. I want the same thing right here. Throw some red in right here.
It crashed.
Is it still on?
I don't know because mine went off. So, and then Chris's said that his went off.
Is it back on?
It must be back now.
Okay. Sorry guys. I'm having internet issues right now.
Yeah, we're definitely having.
Is everybody good? Is everybody still with me? Yes, Claude Monet.
Inger had to log back in.
Okay, is everybody still good?
Well, my chat's going, but I'm not following the video. I'm following the live right now.
All right. Let's move on. Are you ready? I'm going to make the little droplets right now. And I'm going to start with some bluish white. If you have some blue and some white still, I'm going to grab some of that with my round brush, just a little bit, not too much. And what you're going to do is you're going to paint a circle. You know the little bees that you used to paint to represent bees or flies where you did this whole like one of those things? That's all we're going to do. I'm going to start right here. Just like that. And before I switch paints, I want to paint another one like that right over here. Like that. I know you can't see it, but we're going to put some other paint in there to define that. And I want to do one right here and one right here. So I'm going to put one right here. There. And another one, but a smaller one. We want to switch it up. We don't want it to make it look like we're making a pattern here. Just a few. I don't want a ton of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some blue, a little bit blue. Here's what we're painting with now. I want it to be like that. So definitely a contrast. And I want to reiterate that circle with that blue that we just made. Okay. Then I'm going to grab this white again. Check this out. Are you ready? We're going to make splashes like they're coming up. And the way you're going to make those is you're going to push down. See if I can pull this right up here so you can see it. You're going to push down light, and as you move up, you're going to push down to make that droplet like it's sprouting up. Just like that. You can't see it. Here's what I'm going to do. The way you're going to paint these. Here's your little droplet that we made. You're going to have it come out thin, and it's going to get thicker on the way out, like that, and like that. And you can put like little droplets like it's spewing over. But you're doing that with white. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my blue. And I'm going to go right over where I just made those. Same thing here. And a couple that are shooting in like in a different direction, like the water just hit it and it's splashing. Maybe a little small one here. There's my droplets. Now with that same color blue that we just used, here we go. I want a nice point on my paintbrush with that same color. You're gonna have rain droplets coming in this direction. So I'm gonna paint one going across like this. There's one. Then switch these up. One like that. Smaller one. I'm going to have one going right here. Want them all in the same direction. You don't want them in different directions. So they're all going this direction. There's another one. Couple more right up here. As long as you have them going the same direction, you should be good. But break it up. Don't make a pattern. I'm going to throw a little bit of white in there. Don't overdo it. Like I'm doing right now. Don't overdo it.
Don't be extra.
Don't be extra. I'm gonna rinse my brush out. Is it still working, you guys?
It stopped, said Katie Morales.
Is it still going?
Mine isn't going, but that's me. Mine hasn't been going because I have no internet. Wait, good here. Chris says
Good?
You stop for a minute. Just
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have a different game plan for next week because,
we thought that we had it, but maybe we really don't.
yeah.
We thought we fixed our internet issue in the office, but still having issues.
Yeah, hotspot would be a good idea.
Where we get free hotspot.
Get that. Okay, can everybody see me now? Are we good?
Speaking of hotspot.
Okay, so I'm going to get some of that crimson type color we made with the red. It's a little bit dried up, so I just want a little bit of it. A little bit of that white. Pretty much that color right there. I want to outline a little bit of this here. Just one. I want to outline a little bit of this right here. Maybe a little bit here. Put some streaks right through here. Kaylee, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what's going on my internet right now.
What did I miss? I'm back. Well, if you wanted to, you could actually just move your little thing back a little ways and it will recount.
We just did the rain droplets. Okay, we did these coming down, and then also I made these. I said, you know what? I'm gonna paint in my studio this time. We got some new routers. We're gonna see how that works. But no idea what's going on with that. It's really frustrating though. So I'm gonna grab some. I kind of want to go over some of these little raindrops that we just made on the ground. Paint the bottom of this. Now you can go in and repaint some of, like, if you weren't happy with some of this and you want to redo it, you totally can do that. But I want to add some white in there. We're almost done here, you guys.
Chris, there's a problem. Kansas still stopped. It's not. I don't know. Mine is too.
Is everybody good? Can everybody see this still? Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can see it. You guys can still hear me live. Good here. Okay, cool. Excellent. Excellent. I'm really sorry, you guys.
It was doing really good, and then it just stopped.
I turned the Wi-Fi back on too. It's like the Wi-Fi is good, and then my connection is great, and then one of them goes out.
The interwebs are sticky tonight, and it might have something to do with the storm. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Well, I'm going to grab a little bit of white here and a little bit of that red color that we made, that crimson color.
Can you zoom in on the
I can't, but I will do this. I'm going to call this Kaylee Vision. I will totally make those for you guys again.
What's that?
Here, I'll make another droplet. Rinse my brush out. I'll do this for Kaylee.
See.
So to make these droplets, I'm going to grab some white with a little bit of blue. I'll put one right here. And I'm going to paint this little just like that. And then I'm going to paint going up. Then I'm going to grab some blue without rinsing the brush out. I'm going to throw some blue right in there. I'm going to outline some darker blue in that little droplet. And I'm going to grab some white again, but I'm going to put the white like right here, right at the top. Put little dabs. If you want, you could get some darker blue and put darker blue at the bottom of the droplets because they're going to be darker towards the bottom and they're going to lighten up as they get towards the top. Just like that right there. And like that right there, like that right there. See that right there? And I'm going to grab some white that we use, this little, not pure white, I just want some of this crimson looking color that we made over here. And I'm going to put some little droplets right over here. Right on the ground. I might add some droplets on the outside, that white right here. So the outer edge of the puddle, the reflection. Just like that. So that's what I just added right there. Just a little bit. Don't get too much white right underneath there. We want that dark right there. I rinsed my brush out. I'm going to grab some pure white on my brush. And I'm going to go in and just kind of put some little pieces of white right over here. Kind of just go around and start sculpting that in almost. Right there. Pure white. Kind of give it that painterly feel. Now, you asked, what's that yellow for, right? That's the last thing I'm going to paint on here because I'm pretty happy with everything. It looks cool. I like it. I'm going to grab some yellow. A little bit. You're not going to use like a pin size worth. See that? Little tiny bit of yellow. And I'm going to have a wet brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow. And what's blue and yellow make? Green, right? I'm going to add some white to that. I'm going to dry brush some of that green because that's on the original painting that we were looking at. Just a little bit right there. And a little bit there. Just that pop of color is kind of cool. I like that. Now, if you're unsure about the reflection, you could always grab a little bit of that bluish paint, some white, just kind of run through a little bit of that. I didn't blend it. I just left it very sloppily on the brush. I think that's it. I wonder if I can read comments on this.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I can even hear myself.
Really, you shouldn't do that. You'll get that feedback.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I think we're done. This was a new setup. Again, I'm really sorry if I got anybody kicked off or it's really lagging right now. Could be my computer. And the last thing that I want to do, I'm going to sign my name.
Karen said that this was much harder than last time.
You think so? I'll get a different painting. Next time we'll do something that's a little bit more.
I do like the effect with the water though. I think that it really looks real. It looks shiny.
All right, was that cool, you guys? I'm sorry if it was a little tough. I have to back myself off sometimes because what I think is not so bad sometimes could be challenging.
Oh, I was the one who picked it. I thought it was okay. I
Yeah,
didn't think it
it's
was
okay.
more complex than
Thank you, Christopher.
anyhow.
Appreciate that. So I hope you guys had fun. Post these on Facebook or send them to me. Email me, chris.hernandez367@gmail.com. If you guys have Instagram, follow us. We're at ZP Publishing, Zombie Playground Publishing. So ZP Publishing, follow us on there too. Some of you guys don't have Facebook, or sometimes I don't like going on Facebook a whole lot. I like going on to see your guys' artwork and the stuff that you guys have made and all the fun stuff you've done. But yeah, I sometimes I just go on Instagram, or sometimes I just don't go on. It's just a lot of negativity. You got to be careful out there and stay positive right now, and just everybody find cool things to do. Stay positive. We're all going to get through this, and it'll pass, and we're all hanging in there. Everyone's in the same boat. We're all in this together. We're all hanging in there. Thank you, Christopher. Tacey, that's awesome. Love you guys. Karen, I'm glad you had fun doing this. Guess what, Karen? You're going to get really good when you're done. When we're out of quarantine, you're going to be like a master painter, right? So, Chris, I will be there tomorrow. I will be there to check out. I enjoyed Christopher Blaylock Fine Art. If you guys can go on there and follow him tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had fun. I just sat and watched him, and it was very. So Chris is a good guy. He's a fellow artist. I enjoyed listening to him, his take on art and the way he approaches technique. The giant Snickers bar. I thought it was a creek. I didn't think it was a giant Snickers bar. But anyway, you guys, I hope you had fun. Please send me your pictures. If you don't think they came out good, don't worry about it. I have so much artwork that I couldn't stand when I first started painting and I was in art school. Some of it I wanted to throw away, and I'm glad I didn't, because it's memories and it's progress. Good night, Chris. Thank you, buddy. But anyways, you guys, I hope you had a good night and a good Friday night. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with Amy and I, hanging out, painting. I apologize about all the internet issues. We're going to get that fixed for next time. So please look for the next one. I think we're going to do a Harry Potter inspired painting. What do you guys think? I found a really cool design that I want to tweak and mess around with and come up with something. So yeah, glad you had fun, Stacy, Teresa. Thank you. My students, Amy's students, whoever else is on there. You guys have a good rest of your night, and please, again, post your paintings. Share our page or share my YouTube channel with all your friends so that they can live stream this with us. And that's it. You guys enjoy the rain. Hopefully tomorrow is a little bit nice day, and then Monday, well, this is for California. We're going to get hit with rain again. So enjoy the rest of the weekend, you guys. Take care. We love you guys. Be safe out there. Stay in, and we'll catch you on the flip side.